One of the most pervasive myths about learning is the idea of learning styles. That is, each of us has our own learning preferences, and we learn best when the style of instruction matches our own learning styles. If you are an auditory learner, then you learn best when the lesson emphasizes auditory stimulation. Or if you're kinesthetic, then you do best when the lesson is more hands-on. This belief is so widespread that according to a 2004 survey, there are more than 70 different kinds of learning styles theories and assessments available on the market. In their book, Make It Stick, The Science of Successful Learning, Peter Brown and Henry Roediger talk about how there's actually very little evidence to support the idea of learning styles. They argue that what the evidence actually suggests is, quote, when instructional style matches the nature of the content, all learners learn better, regardless of their differing preferences for how the material is taught. In other words, it's not about tailoring a lesson according to students' preferences, but according to the content of the lesson. Let's say you're about to teach a foreign language to a group of students and you need to go about designing your curriculum. Now, to speak a new language, there's a lot that students have to learn, including grammar. Grammar is very structured, and it's important for students to understand how the various pieces of a sentence work together. What would be the best method for teaching grammar? Well, illustrations are a fantastic way to show relationships. So, visual-based instruction would probably be ideal for teaching grammar. Another necessary skill for language development is the ability to recognize words out of the sounds that you hear. If you were to speak to me in a language I don't know, I would hear nothing but noise. But gradually, as I continue to learn the language, I would be able to pick out more and more words. So what would be the best way to develop this skill? By listening, or in other words, auditory stimulation. Here's the principle. It's the object of a lesson that determines the style of the lesson. What are the implications of this? Well, if you are a teacher, then as you're developing your lesson plans, ask yourself, what is it that your students should know or be able to do once they've completed your class? And then ask, what would be the best ways to go about teaching each of those things? Similarly, if you're a student and you have the option of choosing your own study materials, then ask yourself what it is you need to learn and then which format would be the best way to learn it. Books, videos, audio lectures, which would be best for the information you need to learn? In the words of John MacArthur, a former dean of Harvard Business School, how we teach is what we teach. I hope this video helps you to become a better teacher and a better learner.